How uncommon it is that a piece of software, a collection of ones and zeros and loops and semicolons and variables, can connect with a person so deeply and emotionally that it can transcend the barrier of pixels on a screen and leave a lasting impression on their heart, changing their life forever. I'd like to take you on a short, personal journey about me, to show you why something most people would write off as just a silly game or a pastime hobby is so incredible, and how it has shaped me into who I am today. For deeply personal reasons, childhood was, let's call it unpleasant for me. I was abused, abandoned, hurt, and experienced many losses in ways most people don't even know can happen to someone living in America. Comfort and serenity were not often to be found, and the tangled mess of destruction left in the wake of such tragedy continues to slowly unfold within me today. I was just 10 in 2008, so by the standards of many of you, I'm probably concerningly young. I spent much of my childhood obsessed with things that moved and played outside with toys representing such things all the time. Of course, when I discovered the world of computers and games, the ability to jump into a world full of things I loved would come to be my fascination, my obsession even. The computer, and the flight simulator contained within the confines of its hard drive, became a means of escapism, comfort, and even joy, separating me from the terrible things that happened when I was younger. I wouldn't have known it at 10, but I was forging the path that would become the rest of my life. The computer I had in childhood was just a lowly XPS laptop that my adoptive father used for business, and it was probably more underpowered than you think. My first simulator was actually Flight Simulator X, which my family purchased for me as a Christmas gift, but I was never able to get more than about 6 frames a second even at low graphics settings, so it wasn't long before I took to eBay and found a copy of Flight Simulator 2004, which ran much better on our struggling laptop. I leapt into a world full of life, full of people doing what I was doing, full of so much to do and so much fulfillment to be had. I could go anywhere in the world and do it in what I thought was the coolest way imaginable. Flying jetliners and props and whatever else I wanted. I was free when I was flying. Free of my boring day-to-day life, free of the torment that followed from my childhood traumas. The rolling mountains and hills never judged me. The clouds offered challenges that I felt like I could overcome for the first time in my life. The forums full of designers and users were all the community I felt I needed. The beautiful blue skies felt like a home I had never had. In 2011, I got my first computer of my own, and with that, a new step on my journey began. I plunged headfirst into the SDK because I wanted to learn how to develop for Flight Simulator. I wanted to start giving back to the communities that made me feel at home. Some of the first things I ever published were scenery add-ons for the group California Classics, beginning in 2013. I joined the Retro AI group in 2012, a group of hobbyists who used the AI system of Flight Simulator to travel back in time and forget all about the modern era. From that moment on, I've been using and contributing to the creations of one of the greatest, longest running, and perhaps smallest communities in all of our hobby. Continued work and new projects from this group have consistently reinvigorated my interest in flight sim in various ways. In 2014, I made my first repaint, an Air France A300. The floodgates opened at that point, and now I have completed hundreds of paints, both published and unpublished. 2015 saw me begin one of the most ambitious projects I have ever set out to complete, and it's still ongoing. I wanted to make a 747 Classic for Flight Simulator in honor of the Ready for Pushback 747 that I had spent hours upon hours of time flying. I started with the flight model, and over 6 years of development later, I think I now have one of the most realistic flight models that can possibly be made within Flight Simulator 2004's limitations. From 2015 to about 2020, all of my time was dedicated to the activities I just mentioned: painting, scenery development, flight model work, and occasionally attempting to break into programming so that I could make my own panels and systems. That finally paid off beginning early in 2020, and has taken up much of my time since then. From there, I made rapid progress on my 747 project, and today it sits somewhere around 50% complete in terms of panels and systems. All of this starting from a gift I received on Christmas Eve, 2008. Days became weeks, became years, became over a decade. The inescapable march of time has deemed that Flight Simulator 2004 is now obsolete to all but a few small communities of us left scattered across the internet and the world, and yet the feelings have never changed. Through 4 different computers, 3 different operating systems, and 14 years of my life, I continue to come back to Flight Simulator 2004. I have interacted with so many incredible people from all walks of life in the flight sim world, many of whom are still actively in the hobby, some of whom have left and gone on to do other things, and some of whom are no longer with us. I have spent more than 5,000 hours of time over the years flying in Flight Sim 2004, and an untold number more developing for it for personal projects and some published works. None of this would have been possible if my family had simply passed by that boxed copy of Flight Simulator X on the shelf. None of this would have been possible without Flight Simulator's development team knowing just how important it would be for users to develop their own content and making the flight sim conducive to this by making almost everything so readily expandable and changeable. The wrinkles on the face of Flight Simulator 2004 show loudly and proudly today, standing alongside more contemporary flight sims, but that has never changed how much love I feel in my heart when I see that old splash screen, or when I see old screenshots other users shared more than a decade and a half ago, or when I make something new and put it into the sim and see it just work. The sense of fulfillment, joy, and wonder of what I want to do next is unparalleled. Thank you to my family for buying what seemed like probably just another computer game for me way back in Christmas of 2008. Thank you to the development team who made Flight Sim, each and every one of you for making something so awesome. Thank you to each and every single one of you in the community that I've interacted with over the years and who have made the content that I enjoy every day and who have helped me along the way to where I am. Thank you, Flight Simulator 2004, for being more than just a computer game to me. And thank you, dear viewer, for watching. Stay tuned.